Hey everyone, who's calling you out? I don't mean from a place that's unpleasant and uncomfortable. I don't mean those things that are not good or things that you might be afraid to confront that aren't easy. I mean from a place that's good, that's constructive. Who's calling you out? The parts of you that you might not be able to see on your own. The parts that can be a blessing, not just to you, but to those around you. Those good and constructive um, gifts, as the Bible calls them, those good and constructive skills, even character traits, things that will leave an environment and a life even better, not just your own, but but those around you as well. Who are these that are calling you out? Who is entering your life that you might not always realize right away that is really the one that changes the game for you, lifts your spirits, makes you feel empowered? What are those moments, even not just people, but what are those moments that are really shaping you in better ways, making you stronger? These are the questions that I would ask you today. I realize this is a Monday, and right now, unless you're in a different time zone, I guess, or maybe in a different country, it's still the morning, and it is still a Monday, so it's kind of heavy for a Monday. I'm sorry, but just something that's been really making me think and challenging me. I had an encounter recently where I had someone call something out in me that I don't necessarily try to ignore, and I've heard it before, but I don't see myself this way. I'm not going to get into what it is. It's not important. It's not a bad thing. The focal point isn't what was called out, but the fact that something empowering or what felt empowering and encouraging was called out. And so someone pointed it out again to me. I was just trying to encourage someone. That's all. So that's just me. But anyway, what are those moments? Who are those people around you? Who are the ones that you least expect? What are those moments even that you least expect that really bring those things out in you? I ask these questions to encourage you today. Um, be mindful of those around you. Don't be afraid to listen. Don't be afraid to let Jesus to really speak into those parts of you through these people that might not seem like they're a divine intervention, as you might want to call it, where God steps in and works, where Jesus shows up and does something that just blows your mind. But those moments that surprise you nonetheless, even if it's only a little bit. So, um, as you go through each day, especially in those tougher seasons, be expectant to see what will happen. Um, and don't look for those really dramatic ones. Don't look for those really over the top, as the younger generations now say, those extra moments where it's a lot, where it seems too much, or those really exceedingly surprising ones. But look for those ones that aren't so much, but are still surprising because you didn't expect them. Be willing to expect them. So, who's calling you out? What moments are calling you out? The you that needs to emerge, the part of you that God has built into you, that Jesus has gifted you with in many different abilities and areas, even if those areas and those gifts are only one. Maybe it's just one gift, singular. But that's okay, because when you have one thing, it's easier to focus on that one thing. So you can live, so you can carry it out, fulfill it well. So, and Jesus will lead you in that. Don't be afraid to ask him for help and to ask for clarity in these moments and these people that are around you for discernment. Me personally, I would encourage it. So, but I just wanted to share this for someone today, because those folks will come into your life. Those moments will happen, and they might not always seem very pleasant or ones that you'll expect, especially. But there'll be moments that will really give grace, and they will leave you better. And as they leave you better, they'll leave those around you better, because those giftings, those changes, those transformations, those, I guess, visitations, if you want to call them that, um, those aren't meant to stay with us alone, but they will transform us in a way that points back to Jesus. So, and just know that if you struggle with this, know that if it's hard to see those moments, those people, know they're not alone. Know that I'm learning too, and know that you are welcome here. So, but just be willing to look, and don't be afraid to ask Jesus, especially for that discernment, for that clarity, because He has good for you, like He does for us all. He loves you like He loves us all. You know, even if it's in a dark season, even if you feel like you're failing and maybe things haven't always worked out right, or you're caught in what the Bible says is sin. You know, we all sin, we all fall short, and that's why we need Jesus, myself included. So no shame here. You are welcome here. So I just want to encourage someone with this today. So if this video or anything here has been a blessing, feel free to share or like it. Share like anything on this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you want. You're welcome here. And let's look for those folks that God places, that Jesus allows and even orchestrates into our life, that would shape us and outwardly and in turn shape those around us. So let's be willing to look at those moments that call the real you, out of us, the part of us that we might not see, because we need each other. You know, it's true. It's not that we rely on each other more than Jesus, but we need each other, even myself. So, and I'll also make sure to put the web address to my blog in the description below if you want to check out anything I write there for some free resources, no pressure. But maybe what I write could meet someone where they're at. So it's just a lot of creative expression, but maybe some of what I write could meet someone where they're at. So thank you again for being here, and let's see who's calling us out. Let's see what Jesus is going to do. Have a great day.